There it is.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, we're on.
All right.
Hey, we're here.
I don't know how well my Wi-Fi connection is going to actually hold up here, because apparently, I don't know. Mark's got like 5 bars. I can see the connection. I have like 3. So, and all of our audio is coming from my computer. So hopefully,
And I can make the screen move if I like do this. So
yeah.
This is a little bit of a this is not the most high production value stuff.
All right, settle down, Mike. Anyways,
we're going there already.
Yeah,
I'm already Mike.
This is Josh on the wrong lead. Obviously, we're joined by Mark L. Actually, sorry.
No. I've been renamed.
Mike L. Capitan over here. Mr. Well, I mean, I'm going to keep it as a souvenir, but there's $0 left on that card. And then to my right, Andrew Capone. Nice to see you, buddy. And obviously, Caleb is pretending like he's in Vegas with that background. Got a couple other people here in the room with us. We're over here in Bally's. Got good old Clamps and PDT. Yeah, we figured we would talk a little bit about the trip so far. Got Caleb here to talk a little bit of Pegasus. And all of us are not going to be playing in the NHC this year. Mark, why don't you recap your day?
I pretty much proceeded to, let's see, I had 11 picks. I had 1 first place horse, 1 second place horse, and basically blanked everything on a day that was massively cap heavy. Just not a type of day. I mean, it was more your kind of a day. You ran really well early, but it was, for me, not the kind of day I do well on. I know our good friend Sheldon, and I capped a lot of stuff together. We sort of talked this through, and we're like, oh, yeah, this is going to be a pretty chalky day. And I think you had, 4 cap horses, 3 or 4 cap horses, just really brutal day, not the kind of day I do well on. And, it was not good.
I guess I would have to say that I put in a 3 cherry special performance there. I was the E8. I got out to a nice early cushion, and then I folded. So what would I have? I had like $53, I think, and after the first 5 optional races.
It was so frustrating because we had those, you had that sort of initial ramp up, right? Yeah, and things started kind of going, and the 2 of you guys were both doing awesome. You're like, oh sweet man, 2 of my 2 friends are in good spots. They're in striking distance of both having NHC seats. This is going to be amazing. This is going to be great. And then it just absolutely went off the cliff.
Yeah, those mandatories were rough. Cap, how did you do today?
I did very well in my number 1 strategy, which was I was going to show bet all my win place bets, and I walked out with $182. So that was definitely the play. I had 4 horses show today, and all of them were 18 to 1 or greater. So I thought I was on the right movement towards picking it, but just could not connect. I think I had 2 places throughout the whole day.
By the way, Gary, Brander Buddy is saying that he's getting his ass kicked by the trotters at Yonkers.
I've already responded, sir.
Oh, good. Okay, good. I figured you could.
Greg indeed.
I figured you could help the man out because you know that world. So okay.
I thought the most interesting thing from today was a lot of people I felt mailed it in on the Last Chance Qualifier. A lot of people came in the morning. They played the optional races back to back at the beginning, looking for bombs, and then the room sort of emptied out after that number 4 horse said 28. What was that? 28 to 1.
Yeah.
The Gulf Stream. Once that hit,
that horse that wired.
People just mailed it in. They placed a couple bets, and we're done.
The funny thing is that with that horse, there weren't a lot of people who actually had it. I think it was 8 or 10 people that had it. So. It made things a little bit more difficult, but you weren't out of it right then and there. I think what really fucked everything up were the mandatory races with the bombs coming in, those 2 mandatories. If you didn't have them,
everybody had to hit that 4 qualified, right? I mean, if you got up to $70, $80, right?
Yeah, it was one of those days where if you hit one, there was 3 Mando horses. If you had one of those 3 Mando horses, and then you ended up, the cat. Sorry, the cat. One of the 3 cat horses, and then you had one or two that a 7-2 or
5 to
something,
1,
5-1.
Maybe.
You were there. Yeah, you were there. So, and those types of days for me are so hard. I always look at these things as a progression. Oh, geez, there's 11 races. I probably need to be right 3 or 4 times in there. Not I need to be right 1.5 times. That's just not how I approach these. It is how certain people approach them, and those guys did really well today. So, again, it's one thing with play tournaments. Some days it falls into you, how you approach them, and some days, like today, you just get slaughtered.
I like that Mark needs to kind of make himself feel a little better. It's like, oh, this is a you day, Josh. It's not a me day.
Dude, I was.
I'm gonna give you this one. You got a long journey.
You were in what 11th, dude? You were in 11th or 12th, about halfway through it. I couldn't have been happier. I'm like, holy shit, Josh is gonna freaking NHC qualify. He's gonna be loaded. He's in a great spot. He's gonna get some money out of this. He's gonna at least pay well more than pay for his seat. Plus, he's gonna qualify for NHC with the massive cap on the top end. He's running great. This is awesome. And then it just ground to a halt.
How far away were you from the cut, Josh? Just for dollars.
Oh, I mean, the thing is, I think I was like $40 away. But the thing is,
you weren't really a stone's throw away. I mean, you were.
The thing is that I was well within the cut probably for about 2/3 of the tournament, and then once the mandatory came out,
Same.
Yeah, it was the first one was 13-1, and I could weather that one. That one was okay. I had a 5-1 that I liked a little bit later that ended up winning. I didn't play it because when the mandatory came right after that, it was a cap horse, and so at that point it's like, well, I got 2 bullets. I had 2 or 3 bullets left, and it's like I need 10-1. I need to hit 2 or 3 10-1 plus horses. There were two mid-price horses I really liked. There was that 9 horse at Fairgrounds in the last mandatory. I hit a real money bet on that, and that eased a little bit of the pain. And then there was that 1 horse at Aqueduct. I forgot what race it was. Maybe it was race 7. Was it race 8?
6 or 8.
Yeah. And so I probably would have ended up with about, I don't know, what is that, another $20. But I still would have been $20 short, even if I would have played those 2. So it was tough. I was just, like I said, I felt like I was playing from behind the whole time after those came. I mean, I don't know with those 2 horses if I would have gotten close, but yeah, it was close to $100 that you needed to kind of qualify. But yeah,
something I found super interesting was the top 3 people didn't change after the 4th race.
Yeah.
So what I thought strategy-wise, just reflecting on it, there's something to be said for these people got out and you watch them because you can see people how many mandatories are left, how many options are left. They did not bet for the next 3.5 hours. Yeah. They got out there, they had a great lead, and they just sat and waited. And they were letting other people shoot their bullets and seeing if somebody could catch up to them. So maybe strategy-wise, there's something to be said for really hunting for prices
early,
and the first 3 or 4 optional races. Try to get that lead and then sit in a different position of, am I blocking, and can I just go to chalk and play $8 at a time? There was so many opportunities where if you had a lead, you saw it with the person that was in 4th place, who was in 3rd all day and ended up in 4th. But the person, you could see he had $87 and then he went $8, $7, $8, and he just could play those Aqueduct 2-1s, 3-1s, and just be like, good. He played the 3 to 5 at Duck, and he hit, and it paid him $6, and he kept on walking forward.
The guy that won overall honestly played the day absolutely masterfully because he got up early and he was in 1st place for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
The entire day, he got himself up early after the 3rd or 4th race. He found his cap horse, and then he just sat there, and he could sit there and literally, again, watch the rearview mirrors, look at what's playing, what's working, and you can effectively block. So and you can say, oh geez, is somebody coming? Is somebody charging? Oh geez, I need to play these types of horses. It really puts you in the driver's seat being able to do that. And again, but that's rare. That's very rare. So. Yeah.
So Caleb, today I believe you led a 8.5-hour workshop at work. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that workshop?
This is really the only reason I'm here, Caleb, so let's hear it.
That was yesterday. Your calendar's off.
Oh, okay.
We're in Vegas. There's no window.
I thought that maybe there was something new and exciting in the world of oil and gas that, maybe.
Oil's like $90 a barrel. Now's the time to get in.
We got the perfect guy here to talk about oil. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Oil's going much higher. Oil's going 130. But one other thing I wanted to make a comment on that I thought was super cool, I should say. Throughout the day, there was a little chatter, and then it started to pick up, and then they made the announcement about 4 o'clock, possibly adding Sam Houston Race Park to the final table. There's going to be a number of cancellations due to weather in the Northeast. And so they announced that they're going to be adding, it looks like one race, and most likely it's going to be a mandatory, will be one of the Ladies' Days races for the final table. So that was sort of cool, bringing Sam Houston Race Park, a B, some may say C level track, into the biggest day in
Don't
handicap.
take me too loud.
It's a B tier track, at least on Ladies' Day. I think, again, no, I think it's really interesting. I think it's really, if you
Very
look at,
un-NHC.
yeah, very un-NHC. And if you look at the slate of tracks this year, I think it's really interesting to see it's not the normal NHC of, sort of Oak Lawn and Gulfstream and, Santa Anita and Golden Gate. That tends to be those NHC 4 big tracks. It's very interesting to see them sort of have some focus on some other tracks with other Mandos. And I thought it was interesting that they didn't have a mandatory at Laurel. I thought that was also sort of an interesting take. But given the card and given some of the calamity or some of the potential calamity, I think that was probably a smart move. So there was a lot of talk about, I think it was equine herpesvirus there, and there's also the weather stuff at Aqueduct. So there was a talk initially going into this that it maybe really slimmed down. It didn't end up happening, but I think it was a smart move on their part, kind of playing and looking at the tracks and saying, okay, these are the ones that, these Mandos are whatever.
So you're talking about smart moves. Let's talk about one of the dumb moves that all of us made today, which was not listening to Murphy on that one horse at Laurel.
God. Murphy.
He's just like, he's like, hey, 13 to 1.
Here's
13 to 1 on a platter.
On a silver platter, and none of us listened to him. Yeah.
No.
And then I played the rest of the Murphy horses the rest of the day. None of them won.
No.
So I did not have the proper Murphy horse, which is 100% my fault.
Yeah. Did you play it all today, Caleb, or were you out of the game?
I was busy most of the day. The only play I made was I hit the late pick 5 at Fairgrounds.
Nice, man.
Okay.
Congrats.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, late pick 5.
Small humble break.
Wait,
well, then I gave some back to Sam.
Last
Houston
race,
after.
hey,
7-3.
what did it pay, Caleb?
It paid $7.50, 50 cents.
$7.50. Look at this. No, not bad. That's not a bad day of work. And I think I got my races flipped because the second to last race was the mandatory. That's the one the 13 won, right?
The 13 got nailed at the wire by the 9.
Oh, was it the 9 that nailed him?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was the 9 that we
Yeah,
all
the 9, yeah, I did
liked,
look,
but
yeah.
none of us could really play it because it wasn't a fit at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I keep telling myself I would have played the 9, but I don't know, maybe I would have played the 9, but I might have played the 13 because I thought the 13 actually went off for Lone Speed, went off at a really good price there in that spot. I think he ended up going off 5-1 or something like that. So
yeah, they were both like 9-2, 5-1. If you had a 13, that was a bad beat.
Can we touch on that tenant duck though? Can we get the room?
yeah,
to
what the
talk
fuck
about
was
this?
that?
Well, burger?
So it breaks the race breaks. The speed was supposed to be on the rail. Race breaks.
Yeah.
One completely misses a break.
Yep.
10-pound apprentice misses the break. Goes from back about 4 to leading on the turn, and the announcer calls out 45-3.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it.
For
and
like, what
5
was it?
horses
Like,
are sitting there with him.
It was like claiming 25 or
Yeah.
something. Like, this is not a level where you can do that.
And the 10 horse it's melted so bad. The 10 horse came flying from off the lead,
Yep.
center of the track, hits him with it. Looking at the form, if you went back to 2019, the horse looked great. If we could cut back to 2019, the horse looked great. But I just could not believe, after how well speed carried in the early part of the card, that collapse. Like, I've never seen a collapse like that where it was so raw.
I think what you have is a situation where you talk about jock mental philosophy. Hey, horse on the lead wins. Horse on the lead wins. Horse on the lead wins. The jocks all go, I need to go full send.
Yeah.
I need to make the lead. And then all of a sudden you get into a race like that where you have a field size and 5 jocks go, I need to go. And everybody goes and they run those obscene fractions and the race completely melts. And as a handicapper, those are brutal days where you're, oh geez, I need to pick the horse that's early on the lead. And I look at my stuff and I look at what are early fractions and then all of a sudden, oh geez, it comes apart horribly. Albeit that 10 was part of the pace. That 10, it wasn't like this 10 was 10 off. We're talking a horse that sat 4 or 5 off.
I think he was a little further.
Was he a little further?
Okay. The one thing I will say is you're saying everybody goes lead. And what I found interesting about how the race shaped up is the rail definitely at Aqueduct, after being gold for Who knows? How
It
long
is
now.
not gold right now.
It is not gold right now, and I think that'll change the dynamic over the weekend.
Yeah, agree.
But it was just like the way that race melted. What amazed me is it was middle of the card for the Last Chance Qualifier.
Yeah.
It was the perfect opportunity where if people were behind, they were going to start throwing. Longest shot, 24 people had it.
Yeah.
24 people had that.
Well,
that's that
24
gamemanship we were talking about.
24 entries. And again, there was 525 total entries.
560, I think it was 560.
Oh, was it 560? I heard like 5 1/4. Okay.
But it's just interesting, though, that it's that weird part in the card where it hit perfectly, where people were saying, I'm too far out of it. I got to throw haymakers.
Yeah.
And then you got a 50-1.
Which is, I think, and Caleb, I think you might have made this comment at some point. That's kind of like the problem with it being like live versus pick and pray is that at a certain point, it's like, all right, I'm just taking a long. I mean, that last race at Fairgrounds, I'm just like, I don't. Okay, this fucking 8's going to be 30-1. Like, I got to play it. Like, there's literally no other play because otherwise, there's no way I can catch up. And I think
I mean, it turns into just a numbers game at the end when you're just trying to figure out what you need and how many people are in front of you, and it doesn't matter if you don't think the horse can run a lick, which it sucks to get beat that way. It does, but at least it keeps you more entertained. Whereas a pick and pray sometimes after half the card, you can't win. So pros and cons to both.
So Caleb, did you? I know you were a little bit out of it today. Did you notice that your favorite handicapper happened to be on Pobo's stream?
I did notice that. I did. I couldn't miss that. If you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend going back and watch it. There's some really high level content on that.
There's
on that
some
show
wonderfully high level content, and shout out to Pobo. He does an absolutely wonderful stream. He's a very good guy at Gulfstream. He does very, very well there. Obviously, professional handicapper, knows his shit. But watching his stream, that was good stuff. We were a couple of us had it on at points during the day, and it we were all kind of getting beaten up, and we're going, oh, but this is good. This offsets some of the brutality that's going on.
I just got a text from one Roberto Banos, Roberto Banos. So I think he's going to be on his way here.
That's great.
Good.
He'll be playing tomorrow. He's excited. 4th place finisher at the Grade 1 Gamble last year, NHCC and ABCBCC.
Lucky bastard.
So what was the ironic part though about who was sitting next to us?
Random Eddie?
Don't you remember? Not Eddie, but the wasn't the guy who beat Bobby?
Yeah. The guy who beat him was sitting at the table next to us.
Okay.
I think that guy finished 2nd and Bobby finished 4th.
Yeah.
I thought it's interesting speaking to a lot of the room today, and I know all of us will walk around talking. It's interesting. The Grade 1 Gamble might be the new hot place. The BCBC, a lot of people saying it's getting sellouts now. You got guys that just are rich and they pay the $10,000. They're going to waste that anyway at the track, so might as well be involved. It seems like the Grade 1 Gamble is something that people are very excited about this year. Keelan always puts on good shows.
That Heaven Hill is quite nice.
Yeah, we're passing.
I'm very impressed with that Heaven Hill.
Well, at least you're doing it before I was, so I didn't want to get
So I'm going to zoom in here real quick and check out chat because I know I haven't had a chance to look here.
Chat's a little quiet. A little
quiet. Yeah, you like that view? Let's see. Stephen Fox talking about the man that races good. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's I saw that, and that's basically what my take was. Yeah, fuck you.
Oh, Stephen Fox. All I heard last year was about Mountaineer Cap Horse. That was a different contest.
We had a Charlestown one this year. That was.
We had a Charles. We did have a Charlestown capper.
Yeah, that Mountaineer horse definitely was talked about many times today. Road Warrior.
Can the Mountaineer horse kind of die now? And we can effectively
Too soon.
Too soon with it dying. Oh, okay, sorry.
So this is a good question. You I think you asked one of the cappers, one of the captors that's on your HRN thing. I've never gotten the answer from NHC players. What is your guys' opinions on the caps? Do you think if it's fair or unfair?
Definitely fair.
So I probably asked this question, either mandatory or cap, to 10 different people today. And the number one thing that came back was there's no caps on optional races, but keeping the cap on the Mando. Because otherwise it sort of becomes a game, and it's like every Mando, people play the longest shot on board because everybody else has to play it in more of a blocking game. And then sort of a little bit different, but with the mandatories, a lot of what people talked about was they need to change the format. One day of all mandatories, one day optional, or all the mandatories in the morning, because as we said, people play this chase game of you're down and now you just pick the longest horse. That 8 that Josh referenced before in the last race at Fairgrounds, I've never seen so many people rooting on a 33-1 that didn't have a
They
shot.
had zero. They had no shot finishing within 20 lengths of the lead.
The horse took like one leap at the top of the.
People got excited.
Everyone's like,
The
yeah!
whole room lights up. Yeah.
And then it's like, wait, maybe he'll get second.
The room, exactly.
Yeah, that was funny. Caleb, what do you think? What do you think about? I know you play a couple of those win place tournaments. You don't play, I don't think, nearly as many as Mark does. But what do you think about like the cap on the payouts and things like that?
I don't really care, to be honest. If there's caps, then it's not really going to adjust my playing strategy, especially in a live a pick and pray format. Because it's not. I mean, generally, I'm going to have 1 or 2 20-1s. I'm rarely going to have a 30-1 or 40-1. So, and it's not like I don't go for bombs, which I do. It's just being realistic. They don't come in all that often. For live, I could see more of an argument. I kind of like what Capone said, maybe limit it to the mandatories only. For something like this event anyway, just for more general kind of approach where it's live for the whole tournament and it's a set list of races or all optional. I don't really care. I think that could probably play into part of the strategy of how you want to approach it, but I don't have a preference really.
Did you hear Steve McPherson? We were talking with Steve. We met him at Kentucky Downs.
Yeah.
And he was saying when he was at Red Rocks, when they used to be at Red Rocks, they didn't have caps. And he was in 4th place. And then he cashed in it. He ended up cashing it. But there, like 8 people had a 90-1 at Thistle Downs.
Yeah.
And he said, like, that's why they made the caps, just because of this one horse. And it just completely changed the dynamic.
It's one of those things. Is it unfair or is it amazingly fair? Or I don't know. I mean, I think it depends on what you want the NHC to be. Is it a real reflection of somebody who's playing the horse on the day to day and who's the best horse player in the country? It's not what NHC is. NHC has really become who's the best at finding cap horses.
Well, it's a handicapping. It's not horse player. It's handicapping.
Exactly. And that's true. It's very much so. It's handicapping over the best horse player. So you sort of play with the format you're given. I mean, it's the same thing as going to a poker tournament. You're stuck with, the blind structure that you have, or you're stuck with, how quickly the blinds advance. It's something you walk in knowing. Is it necessarily the most fair? No. But can you fix it? No. I don't think there's no one fix that fixes it for every situation and every player. And to me, it's, again, I don't want to, downgrade the NHC or push whatever. But to me, the NHC isn't probably the best representation of who's the best horse player. But it's a good representation of who's the best at playing that format. And there are certain people who are better than others, and good for them. It's amazing, and there's a lot of people who do very well with it.
Well, I mean, I think you brought up a good point, Cap. You were talking about, okay, if this really is about handicapping, then there should be less optionals. It should be more mandatories because, hey, like put everybody head to head against each other. That's how we're going to figure out who the best handicapper is. And like for me, that one of the hardest things about today was trying to figure out, all right, where do I fire my bullets? Do I fire a bullet now? Because there were a bunch of mid prices. I mean, we talked about it. There were a bunch of mid prices I liked. There were a bunch of 5-1 horses I liked, and it's like, all right, well, I can keep on trying to grind those 5-1s, but at a certain point, I got too far behind where I had to fire away.
Well, the Excel spreadsheets you saw with people's computers. There was people running models that were saying, I'm this far behind. I need to do this to get where I am.
Well, the other thing that was really hard was the fact that there were no turf races. You had 2 tracks that took everything off from turf and it went to dirt. And the second one, and therefore field sizes shrank, which was the fairground massively, made fairgrounds really hard to chase late. And the other one was a Gulfstream where everything, they have this thing where, if there's a, one rainstorm within a 50-mile radius of Gulfstream, they take everything off the turf. And it moved everything to synth, which is fine, but it really changes the dynamic of how you approach a card when you're going into it looking for certain types of races, and certain, some of us do really well on certain types of races, and it massively shifts that dynamic.
You just said it. What you just said is amazing because talking about smaller fields and chasing at fairgrounds, the last 4 races at fairgrounds were after every other track ended.
Yeah.
So if you were behind, you were chasing 5 horse fields.
5 horse
Exactly.
fields. And what are you gonna do?
I started playing medium price horses early and got out to a good start, thinking that later would be chalky. When in fact, I got out to a good start, and then bombs started coming in,
Yeah.
and I was burning my bullets already.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. And I mean, I also think Josh got into the same spot where he, I think, had 4 or 5 plays he liked really early. The problem is it's 11 total plays. 4 of those are mandatory, so you have 7 remaining. You had burnt your first 5 probably in the first half of the sequence, with the mandatories being late. Therefore, you were, oh geez, I missed a couple. I'm behind. I don't have those bullets to fire to try to catch back up, and it puts you in a real disadvantage. It's one of those things. There's no real probably right answer. You're just behind and you're chasing.
I think the bigger dynamic is
what?
Is a last chance qualifier. You technically hadn't qualified yet. I would agree that the entire NHC itself should be mandatory races and get the optionals out. But for something like this to get you into it, give you a little bit more finesse, give you a little bit more of an edge to just hopefully clinch your spot. And then once you're in the NHC, then it's all Mandos. You don't have to have optional bullets. Because getting into it shows that you are in that top echelon.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
now it's game on.
Agreed. But so what you're saying is the idea of an all optional qualifier.
Not even all optional. Like still have your Mandos, but remove them from the NHC
But
itself.
how do the Mandos benefit you in that situation from a qualifier? Now,
I think
NHC
if you
itself,
try to make
sure.
it all optional, it's chaos. Like it's literal chaos. I mean, yeah, you'll have random cap horses at Golden Gate sitting at 50-1. We won't go into that anymore. But I think that there's a good mix of keeping it balanced between having those mandatories that you have to cap, but giving you a slight edge if you know a track such as Pueblo and you can play Gulfstream.
Yeah,
with the team,
exactly.
You cap.
But again, is
Gulfstreams.
that the best handicap, or is that the best person at playing a
But
certain
again,
track?
you're not playing for the best
I
handicap. You're
mean,
playing for a chance to qualify.
Yeah, and I think at the end, right, it's a contest, right? You got to play the contest the way, right? Just like if this was a slot tournament, baby, it's all about fucking hitting that button as fast as possible. It doesn't fucking matter, right? It doesn't matter.
And
Huh?
How's the elbow?
The elbow, no, dude. I got slot elbow. Dude. I got slot elbow from last night. Yeah. I did want to touch on Steven actually made some good points while we were meeting there.
He did.
Talking about Matt
Actually.
says bombs win a big enough percentage. That's how you should play. And building horizontal. Sometimes you think certain races have a higher VI. Doesn't always mean that you're right, but you try and find those spots to be selective. You can only pick one, and that you have 30 races. So,
Well, I mean, he's slightly wrong. There was 36, I think, today, and you had 11 total spots, with 4 of them being mandatory.
mhm.
So you actually have 7 optionals out of 36, 32 races.
Yeah.
And 9 races that were 6 horses or less, or 8 races that were 6
Yeah,
horses.
I mean,
we had 5 that were turf that came off.
I mean, I just think today was just unlucky. It was an unlucky day to run it. I mean, you had Laurel.
Agreed.
You had Laurel. You had which is awful.
Winter Duck.
You had Winter Duck, which is fine. I think Winter Duck is
I
fine.
like Winter Duck. Yeah.
Non-sloppy Winter Duck.
Like, but Gulfstream and Fairgrounds, which are the 2 big field places running right now, during the day at least. I mean, both of them getting rained off. I mean, that was just.
Caleb,
That
how much
sucks.
rain
Yeah.
did you get at Fairgrounds or Louisiana?
It hasn't rained in like 3 days. I don't understand why they're off the turf.
Oh fuck.
What are they saving it for?
LeCompte probably, right? Because
Probably,
LeCompte is already
LeCompte's
down.
down.
But I mean,
Oh,
I think that's the shit you get.
I
when
don't
you
fucking
have
know.
a
What
big
the hell? Why would
tournament.
they get
Derby in April 7th?
Oh my god.
April 7th is what they're saving for Louisiana Derby.
It was April 7th.
They
They already canceled Jazz Fest. Like the grass should be fine.
We've already shouted him out about 5 times, but I see Popo's hopped in chat. So how's it going, man?
Popo hopped in.
Yeah, he did. The shakeup is in the chat.
Oh,
and,
very cool.
Very cool. Obviously, we've talked about how good his stream was today with the one and only Jared Bush on there, Caleb's favorite handicapper. And dude, a bunch of us had you. We were streaming you guys while sitting in NHC today. It was good content, and thank you very much. We appreciate
Dude,
it.
Papa, I want to know what your viewer counts were this week today. Like, because I got to say that probably like 2/3 of the viewers had to have been
in one room
yeah,
at
been-
Bally's
yeah,
in,
it was
Vegas.
crazy. Man, I had a point I wanted to make, but like
The bourbon killed it?
no, you guys just like went like you guys talked about that for way long. You had made a comment. What did you tell me? That I was fired?
You were fired today at the beginning.
Oh, fired!
You were,
Fired.
and I was like,
Everything
you
fired me?
You weren't even playing the horse, and the thing is, like, well, I like the 6 here a little bit.
Yeah,
And it was you were hitting horses that weren't even.
I turned to Mark. I'm like, man. I'm like just looking at the board and looking at this, like this horse is the play. And sure enough, dude, there's the fucking horse winning by open lengths. But I was so worried about wasting bullets that early. I probably should while I was seeing the ball well, and like I wanted to save a couple bullets for fairgrounds, and I think under normal circumstances, if they were on the turf, it would have made sense. But with the way that they were today off the turf, I just think it was it didn't make any sense there.
So Popo, you're gonna have him back next week, right? I mean, he added massive quality to your stream.
Yeah.
It was rough. Is a word for what happened. It was.
It's still rough. That's 3-card poker.
Do we before we get into the Pegasus, we got to talk about Let It Ride, don't we?
Okay.
So
I witnessed
fucking room.
a couple of us were playing some roulette last night, having a good time, and Clamps and Mark decided that they were going to go play a new game because they were tired of playing. So they played a game called Let It Ride. I've never seen two grown men lose $200 each to this lady named Angie,
who was a bitch. She was quite the bitch.
who was
Most
horrible
determined.
in 8 minutes. Rule number 1 in Las Vegas Casino: if you don't understand the game, don't play it. They were reading the table for the rules, and this lady is just taking $15 at a time.
I think we're getting TMZ here a little bit too.
You got it back though.
We knew the rules. The only question I had was with the concept of Let It Ride is you have the option to pull back 3 bets. You place 3 bets. When the flop comes, you can take one back. When the turn comes, you can take one back, and then the last one rides. So, in theory, a $45 bet really only costs you $15. So what we were trying to figure out was when we can pull them back, and Angie just curb stomped us and was done with it.
Angie also had to calculate the odds by looking at the table.
Yeah.
Just like you guys did. She was,
Angie-
that plays 6 to 1.
We were trying to just strategize the game together.
She was.
Dude, at one point we're sitting there playing roulette, and Capone's like, "Oh yeah, they sat down right there," and then he turns to me, he goes, Mark's pulling out more money." This is like 2 minutes later.
Yeah.
He was at the table for 2 minutes, and the man was already pulling out more money.
And then the new dealer who had no idea how this game was even run.
What was her first thing?
Was shit talking us.
Yeah.
While we were
They were literally
you
trying
don't
to-
know how we're leaving. I'm like, this is your job.
They were literally trying to teach a new dealer how to play the game while she was thieving her money, and it was brutal, brutal, absolutely brutal. And then we all went over to the three card,
Right back.
and we pulled it all right back. It was all good. Just the Let It Ride. No.
Mangoes came out for Saturday.
Yeah.
Pegasus Turf as a mandatory.
Okay.
Not Pegasus as a mandatory. That's
Well-
been a big hot topic of the week. Will they make one of these races a mandatory?
I think that's the right take, right? Because I realize there's an entire field in the Pegasus and things happen and whatever. It's a 2-horse race, right? And do you really want that to be part of the NHC? Is it coin flipping for one of the two? And I realize we all have our opinions on the horse that wins that race. I think the Pegasus Turf is a much more open race. I think you can make a case for 5 or 6, and it's a much better, best handicapper race, right? Like, I think that's a much more competitive field, and I think it's a much better situation. So I think that was the right take. I'm wrong often, but I really think it was.
Well, Mark, I think that's a good segue. Why don't we talk into a little bit of handicapping here? Why don't we roll into the Pegasus World Cup turf here, race 11 on Saturday. We're going to be going 1 1/8 on the turf. Unfortunately, with the setup we have right now, I'm not able to put the PPs up on the screen, so we'll have to use our imagination here. We got a nice full field here, and I think we even have. Do we even have some AEs? No, they didn't bring them in. But we got 12 horses in this field. Our morning line favorite is going to be last year's winner, Colonel Liam, who was since been on the or the missing persons list. I was going to say most wanted list, but no. Haven't seen him in 230 days. Coming back here, going to be 3-1. Never surprised at 7-2. You get Sacred Life, one of Caleb's favorite horses here at 6-1. Hit the road at 8-1, and then you start getting double digits with a couple other horses. Mark said some. I do want to, before we talk about this, and Caleb, you'll like this. I believe Mark said, in disgust, I might be on field pass here.
I felt a little dirty. I felt a little dirty. I mean, for reasons that Caleb was getting, definitely like breakout. Have at it, Caleb. Go at it.
I mean, I already knew that because we're Spoli's on.
Did Caleb freeze?
His lips are moving,
Mark's
but I don't hear anything. No, I think it's.
Did we freeze?
I think we froze.
Did we freeze? That's so funny.
So Caleb, I just turned my mic on. I think we froze, and you're good.
I can hear you guys still.
Yeah, no. Caleb's muted. Oh,
I don't see him. He's muted.
I don't think I'm muted.
And what did we learn about this little adventure into the hotel room?
I don't know. For some reason, we just don't hear you. Let me show him. Try it again, Caleb.
I hear Caleb. He's
Hello?
fine. You guys
Can
aren't
you hear me?
Yeah, there's a massive echo. Thanks. Massive echo.
All right,
Well, our screen is frozen at least. Lips aren't moving.
Josh broke the
That
internet.
works on both mics. Everyone's fine. Y'all fine.
whoops.
Except Caleb.
Oh, yeah, Caleb says he can hear us fine. Well, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
So Caleb, just start talking, and we'll try to fix. Josh is fixing.
Yeah, I'll
the
try
internet.
and fix this here real quick. Just go ahead and start talking.
All right, I'm gonna name off my least favorite people on other streams since they
No
can't
idea
hear
what
me.
he said though. So
That's fine.
It's fine.
Let's start with no. Anyway, yeah. So I guess in this race, I don't like Colonel Liam. He could win this race, but I wouldn't want to back a horse as the favorite coming off of a huge layoff, off of a total stinker performance that he ran last out in the Manhattan. So I'm going to go against Colonel Liam. If I had to take another Pletcher horse or another horse in here, it probably would be the Pletcher. Never surprised. That's the other horse that I think looks interesting. He's coming into this race with the exact same pattern that Colonel Liam had last year, coming out of that Tropical Park Derby at Gulfstream. He crushed his last two races by 6 lengths. He should get a fairly easy lead here, as I get the impression they're going to rate Channel Cat. So I like Never Surprised here, probably as the horse. There's a bunch of price horses I think you could play. This is a wide open race. Mark, can you hear me yet?
Hold on. I think, Caleb, before you finish that thought, I feel like we should probably take a trip down memory lane here and talk about maybe a previous rendition of this race here.
What if I told you that the perfect man did exist, but he was cursed? I mean, he's just a complete handicapper. East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, might be the best I've ever seen. And he could be the best looking guy in all of horse racing. I mean, he gives Matt Bernier a run for his money. I mean, we all saw it. He was minding his own business, walking back from the bathroom. Hottest girl in the bar just grabs him and says, "Reel me in." Turns out you can't always be that lucky, though.
Zulu Alpha charges up the rail under Tyler Gaffleon and takes the lead late. Zulu Alpha wins the Pegasus World Cup turf.
Look at that horse flying on the rail. Look at that horse flying on the rail.
We might be lagging here a little bit, so unfortunately, hotel Wi-Fi is what it is. But yeah, Caleb. So you really like Never Surprised here, huh? The Pletcher horse.
I mean, I don't love him in here, but we have a lot of people on stream. I don't want to talk about 4 horses, but he's probably the one I like the best, and more so, my opinion is I don't like Colonel Liam here.
Okay. Who are you looking here?
I'm going to play the bias here. It's been developing pretty well. 37% honor within 1 length to lead at first call. 62% stalkers 1 to 4 lengths at first call. Not one horse in the last 20 races on the turf going around has closed for more than 4 lengths. And I think even tomorrow it'll be even more sped up. Turf should be very, very hard with the lack of rain that they've been getting, but just canceling anyway because of the storm close by. I'm actually going to go with Channel Cat. Been working like a monster in the morning. old foe of mine, but trying to get back close. I like the Sisterson, and Joel goes up. So I think that's a good opportunity. I like Joel stalking in this type of situation.
Is Mike holding you at gunpoint over there?
What did you say, Caleb?
That's why I'm all
So is Mike holding you at gunpoint over there?
he is not, but him and I, my Sisterson, only rule of Sisterson, it has to be 10 or more. It has to be 10 or more. I can't bet.
Can't be a first-time star.
Can't be. It has to be 10 or more. But Channel Cat has been working like an absolute monster in the morning. Ran a bullet a couple weeks back with a horse that won a stakes 2 weeks ago. So I think the horse is going to be ready to fire.
Yeah, I think Caleb here has made a lot of really good points. I think Never Surprise makes a ton of sense in here. I'm more interested in Never Surprise over Colonel Liam, but of course I've been trying to beat Colonel Liam for like 2 years now, and I fail miserably every time I do it. He does run really well over the Gulfstream course. Pletcher is 42% right now. Arad's running at 32%. The two of them together are really great, but I think the horse that I sort of landed on is Field Pass. I want another horse in here. Like it's the kind of race where you look at it and you're like, oh hey, there are 6 or 7 horses that would all effectively run the same figure. They sort of take turns beating one another, and I want the one that's a little bit of an outlier that I make a little price on. Rispoli comes in for I think just this one mount on the card. Horses one is perfect over the track, 1 for 1. And the horse runs back to a couple of his more recent figs, and it really fits here really well. So I thought Field Pass here. I realize Maker Barnes has been a little off. It seems to come kind of rounding back into form, and I thought Field Pass made a lot of sense here. I realize I'm taking a bit of a price and taking a bit of a shot. It's not my most likely winner, but I think it's the one that probably provides the most value.
Just FYI, Pack, Rispoli has 9 mounts tomorrow.
Does he have 9?
Yeah.
9.
Yeah, almost every single stakes race.
So his agent stopped being shit.
He has a new agent. He announced maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh, did he? Who did he go to now?
I don't remember.
Okay, cool.
But he is coming in for some serious mounts.
Okay. I really honestly haven't I haven't dug through the whole card. I've really just looked at those 2 races. So
I like a little bit of price here. I like the 4 March to the Arch. Big 20-1 price. I like the 4 and 46 work. 2 wins over the Gulfstream turf. 3 wins at a 1 1/8 on turf. I like the price. I think it's going to be a faster pace than maybe we think, given that it's going to be probably hard, sandy turf off the pace.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. I mean, I think you can make a pretty good case here for probably half the field. This is not
like Colonel Liam.
Hence,
Yeah.
great mandatory.
Yeah.
It's a great man. No, I think it's a smart choice making this a mano. Yeah.
Josh, what we got?
I'm trying to get chat back up over here on my phone and not double stuff
It's not
up
an
here.
expensive speed horse, right?
Well, I mean, the speed, the cheap speed, I think, is a 10 Channel Cat, and then you got Never Surprised also.
But is Channel Cat clear? I mean, I
Channel
guess
Cat doesn't have to clear from the 10.
Well, my thought is, doesn't the 12 really kind of your dominant speed here? Doesn't Never Surprise clear? So if you have a cheap speed horse, are you really thinking they're going to send the 10 and try to clear over the? Well, no, they're not going to. And it puts
on the front end.
Yeah, do you really want? I mean,
Sometimes
he can, like he's done that before, but that's not the Joel. You don't bet Joel for that move.
So Johnny V's at Gulfstream just doesn't have him out.
I think he is.
He is at.
I don't think he is.
Well, he might be at Santa Anita.
Yeah, Johnny V's at Oaklawn for the Southwest. He's riding a Baffert horse.
Oh yeah, for Newgrange.
Okay. Is that for Newgrange?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad.
That's why
That makes sense now.
Channel Cat.
Sorry, and like I know I was working on our audio stuff over here, but I kind of like 3 horses in here at a price. I think.
Okay, Jared.
Yeah, I know Jared. Yeah, I'm going to Jared Bush this race here. I got it no matter what happens. I am pretty against the favorite here in Colonel Liam. I just don't know if this horse is going to be able to, fire a big race here fresh, not having prep since June. So the couple of horses that I liked, as of course my PPs decided to shut on me. I did like the Rispoli horse. I did like the Baker horse, and I'm already forgetting what's the horse, Mark, that you like?
The Rispoli horse, Field Pass.
Yeah, Field Pass. I do want to have a little bit of exposure also to Cross Border. I'm going back to that well.
Yeah, really, Josh?
Yeah,
Come on,
you know,
Josh. I mean,
I feel like now that Jakarta won a race, I got to find another horse that I can chase, and I think Cross Border might be it. Although I was on Cross Border last time when he won that synthetic race, but Raylu's been riding great to start the year. He's coming in for this race, and I mean, if you look back at some of these, some of Cross Border's back races from the summer, I think that he's definitely a contender in here.
So you're taking the horse that's a massive against the bias horse that's over 4 Gulfstream that
Yes, all those things.
Sayers had choice and went someplace else.
We'll double it.
Yeah, we'll double it.
Yeah.
We'll double it. That's fine.
This is one.
Yeah.
The more than Mark talks about it, the bigger the bet is.
Yeah. And then the other horse, and I don't know.
That horse tomorrow.
And I think Caleb, I don't know if we talked about this off stream at some point, but no, the other horse I was interested in was the one Space Traveler. Was that one you were interested in here, Caleb?
Sadly, it's not. And I've been interested in Space Traveler every start he's made since coming over here. But this horse has just kind of gotten a little bit slower in each subsequent start ever since that Arlington race. And I think this horse is really a miler. I think a mile and an eighth is too far. He's kind of had some chances and flattened out when he's tried to go farther. So I don't like Space Traveler in there. If I was going to take another price there, it would be actually the 5 Hit the Road, who absolutely fits on numbers and just never really fails.
The horse that we have yet to talk about is the most confusing horse that I've played in a long time.
I mean, I usually hate California turf horses moving east, but this is Florida, so I don't really know
Don't
if
worry,
it counts.
big center cross border.
No.
Oh,
Oh no. Oh no.
More special guest.
The cops?
We're gonna have more people showing up. I apologize for the fact that.
Oh, there he is.
Real Virginia is here. What's up, guys?
What's up?
How you doing?
Oh, you got
Yep.
it? Oh,
Nah, this is an old one. Yeah. What's up, dude? Bobby. Nice to meet you.
Mr. Banos is in the house. But you were what were you saying, Caleb?
Sorry, walked through the shop.
Nothing. I just like the 5 there, even though I normally hate California turf horses.
Yeah, baby.
I don't know if I hit the road.
You don't know about
I'm
the
just
road?
confused about the horse.
Yeah, I mean, the horse loves to win. I mean, the horse is 6 or 12 lifetime, but you kind of go, just hit the road. Really want to go further here? Like, I mean, it's a horse that only really running a mile, and you're stretching out here. Like, does the horse really want to? More than ready with U.S. Ranger on the bottom end. It kind of screams that a mile is the limit. I don't really know if this horse wants to go any further, and also has caught some really soft West Coast races relatively. So I don't know that it's one I'm super interested in, but I mean I wouldn't fault any. Again, this is a race that I think is pretty wide open, and I wouldn't really fault anybody for trying to find a price here.
What's Mr. Pick 5 like? Pegasus Turf. Have you looked at it yet, Bobby?
Me?
No.
I haven't looked at anything Saturday.
No. There you go. Caleb, was there anybody else you wanted to talk about there?
No, I think what I'll do is probably play in an ice cold straight exacta box with the 12, 6, 5, and 9. You guys didn't watch Papa's stream, did you?
Oh, poor Jared.
How you doing, Jared?
Well, why don't we look at the big race? Well, Caleb, actually, before we move on, what you doing an article this weekend at all?
To be determined.
You're safe.
Go that way, and then also me back
You
here.
want to be in it or you don't want to be in it?
I mean,
No, you're good there.
Over
Okay,
my shoulder, you're
Ba-
probably in.
Banos is trying to figure out how he stays out of the camera. Sorry, Caleb.
Just,
Mark has the camera angle so high up. It's always
yeah, there you go.
You're good. You're good.
The
You can't see anything behind the glare off Mark's head anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
But
But you
I don't know
got
yet,
you
Josh,
got
to
any
answer your
turn article
question.
coming up this week, Caleb?
I don't know about an article, but we'll probably
Okay.
have a Road to the Derby show at the very least, as long as Capone doesn't win AHC tomorrow and Saturday.
Gotcha. Well, I didn't know if you were going to write your article on Pegasus World Cup with the 2 short price favorites with Life is Good and Knicks Go here. I know you said the Life is Good is a horse of a generation here,
I
but
thought it was why Sir Winston is a vulnerable favorite in the Pegasus.
Yeah, this would not be a race.
What are you going to do in the World Cup? What are you going to do in the World Cup, Caleb?
Yeah, so I mean, I tend to see it the way everybody else does. It's a 2-horse race, in my opinion. Yeah, I think they could go out there and duel head and head and go 22-45, 109, and still they would run 1-2, as long as they both, nothing crazy happens and no one falls off. So, the way I'll approach it is probably pick the one I like best and key him as a single in a slammed pick 5 or weighted heavier pick 5. And then I'll play back the other one that I don't like quite as much with a smaller base bet. I don't think it makes sense to use them both equally. Even if you have to use them both to some extent, you're losing a lot of equity using both of those horses equally, I think, unless you have some really strong opinions on bombs earlier in the card.
So, Caleb, I got to ask a question here because you're way smarter than I am. Knicks Go as the favorite over Life is Good. Is that the right take here? Because that seems a little interesting. Horse of the generation over horse that just loves to win.
I think it's the right take, and I love Life is Good, but Knicks Go is more accomplished. He's proven at the distance and longer than the distance. He has the better resume right now, so I think it's fair. Not saying that's my preference, but I think it's fair.
So just the take that Life is Good could potentially have issues stretching out, and therefore Knicks Go has proven himself at this distance, and probably, well, I don't want to talk about pace dynamics here because I don't want to get that crazy, but there's quite a bit of early pace here. So I guess that becomes the question. What do you think of the pace dynamic here? Do you think this is honest, or do you think this gets a little crazy?
I don't think it matters.
Yeah,
I don't necessarily think it matters.
But I think it matters in who wins.
Who's on Life?
Brad.
I think the pace will matter in terms of who wins because I don't want the horse between Life is Good and Knicks Go. I don't want the one who doesn't get the lead. I know that much, but I don't think it matters in terms of the ultimate winner because I do think that whoever does get the lead wins the race, and I tend to think that's actually going to be Knicks Go.
Really? You really think Knicks Go just off from probably the inside draw and speed?
I think the inside draw and speed kind of forces his hand, yeah.
So you're saying that you think Joel Rosario is the one that gets the lead?
If it's the same as his past, 8 times he's rode this horse, then yeah, I'm going to say he does.
Okay. Do you guys remember when Joel Rosario raided Latruska?
Oh, we all do. Yes. Yes.
Do you guys remember that? Because I'm still sore about that last year.
I mean,
Josh, you're sore about a lot of things.
Well, especially his right elbow from the slot.
Yeah, right elbow. Dude, that's
killing him from pulling. I will say, I'm not even going to try to handicap this race. I think I'm going to play a structured bet, $14, 1-4 overall over 1-4 trifecta. I think somebody else fucks this race up for second. I think that they both go crazy and one fades and then somebody comes running from the fucking clouds. Can we curse?
Fuck yeah, we can, baby.
I think somebody's coming from the clouds to run up and finish, past a tire and another horse.
I actually look forward to pushing that shot.
Yeah, my gut is that they both go a little stupid early, and I can see that situation sort of happening. I think, and I know Steven's going to give me shit about this. I think if you're playing horizontally here, because I think there's a potential Mando or something. They're paying out the Mando.
No, Sunday.
Is it Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, my bad. I think if you're playing something like maybe the late pick 5 here, I'm just buying both of them. I'll buy both of them and I'll find prices other places. I don't want to try to draw a line and say, oh, this horse is better than that horse in these types of races. Yeah, so I will have no B's here. So you're going to play my A's or my C's. Yeah, yeah, but I think he just sort of it's one of those races that I'm much less interested in betting and sitting there and watching the show. I want to see who wins. I want to be a fan of the sport unless somebody invested from a financial standpoint. I just want to watch it.
It's much easier to be a fan of the sport when you're making money. I'm just saying.
I don't agree.
I'm just.
I agree with you.
That's
I agree with you.
Anybody look at it?
I don't think. Can they hear me? Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah.
we can hear.
I don't think Irad or Todd are gonna say it's our job to soften up Nick's go
For somebody else.
from our spot. Nick's go has to go from the rail. And you're going to see Irad, who's not really the most aggressive front end rider anyway, probably try to stick with him, and whoever's better. But the pace dynamic is going to be Nick's go on the lead, hugging the rail all the way around. And if Life is Good can stick with him and then, I don't know, power down the lane, then that's what you'll see.
I
don't think your try has any shot.
I think
I very much agree with your take.
I think he fades real hard. One of them fades real
But
hard.
like, here's the thing, right? Like when it comes to front end speed,
Gonna show us and let it run.
when it comes to front end
Right, I heard of that earlier.
Let's not. We've talked about it
I
enough
was
times. Let's let it go.
listening to the show.
I mean, when it comes to front end speed, wouldn't you rather have Rosario aboard than Irad? No.
Yes, I would.
No,
Yeah, absolutely.
I would rather have a rat.
Do you guys not remember? Okay, I'm gonna take you guys back. All right, remember this little trash horse, right? This trash horse. The horse still running. Hidden Scroll. Hidden Scroll.
No.
Do you not remember the shit that they gave Rosario because he was way too aggressive? I would rather someone be way too aggressive with the horse.
Are we
Then-
comparing the two horses? Then?
No, but I'm just saying. Like, how many times have you?
You're
How
talking
many times?
apples and oranges.
Yeah,
right?
but here's the thing: is how many times have you heard? Oh, Irad was just too aggressive in that spot, and something fucking happened.
Well, he
When
has
have you
the
seen more
horses
Rosario?
run off. When he's supposed to be loose on the lead, the horse like runs off.
Yeah.
It's happened like multiple times. I think at Saratoga this past
Yes,
summer.
yes, it has. No, I think a rat has a tendency to he gets told to send, and he just sends.
Yeah.
Where I think Rosario gets told to send, and he goes, that's not my vibe, but okay, I'll go.
Yeah,
But
but he's got soft hands though. He can
He's
just
got
sit in the
soft
front and relax the horse, and
Yeah.
you'll have something left. At the
Yeah,
end.
He
Yeah.
did have a funny one at Saratoga this year. We're talking about Sam. He had a turf race where I believe he went 19.9
Was that the
for the first quarter, and he was like 2 to 5.
on the
And he
inner?
finished like 9th.
Yeah,
like,
it was bad.
He went so fast, and I was the clock.
He had to race
He
after.
lost.
The clock had to be broken.
He lost the horse.
He had to race after the Paco incident too, which he ran off on a loose leader.
And then he had that
At
horse.
Gulfstream.
I thought he
Wasn't
was
that
just
a
trying to get
culture?
back. He was trying to get back to the
Back to
jockey as
the
quick as possible. Give it back
Finish
to
that one
Paco.
off. Yeah.
I don't think the horse has a chance, but a very cool horse I like in this race. That's not going to do anything really. It's Empty Tomb, the Falcon horse. I think that horse is an interesting horse to watch down the road. It doesn't have a chance in hell in this race, but they paid the late nomination after the entry fee to get late after they had to invite the late fee to get into it. So
Damn, they had to pay to get into it.
Yeah,
I think it's
Crazy.
Nick's go. I don't think.
I mean, I think so too.
I don't think Life is Good is quite there yet. I think next year Life is Good probably wins the Classic, but it's just a tough spot.
Yeah,
I don't
Is this
want
Nick's
to.
first final race?
I think this
Yeah,
is
this
next
is
goes
last
final race.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's not losing.
No, he's not.
Juice him to the gills.
Oh,
It's a
Uh,
walk off.
it's a walk-off.
get him sent. Get ready to get sent back over to Korea, right?
Right.
Yeah. There's no way he stands here, right? He's going to stand in Korea.
Of
Is that
course,
the plan?
or Japan. Someplace where they actually, have some sort of, they actually appreciate distance pedigree.
Yeah.
And not that he's got real distance pedigree, or not that he's like the sexiest pedigree but yeah.
But he's got pedigree. He's not
He's got
he's not a
pedigree.
chrome or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, I
I think
mean,
we got to ask our man here
What?
in the room who's actually participating in NHC this weekend.
Yeah. What?
What are you playing this race? Are you playing the Pegasus turf? The turf
Well, you
has to
said
be
it was
Mando.
Mando.
Are you
right?
playing the Pegasus at all? Is this
Probably
a race?
not.
where-
turf is a Mando. The regular is not.
Yeah. So I won't play the Pegasus
No.
now.
Just no.
So thinking about it from like an ownership perspective, if I'm behind and I need a race, maybe you take one of the others and I don't
Break.
know, hope someone falls off.
Miss the break, fall off, jump
Yeah.
over the rail.
But and I guess
Get
if
water.
that happened, I would take.
Yeah, grab water. There's some in the
probably
fridge, too, if you want. Hold on.
not
Sir Winston?
Stiletto boy, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're the Cali shipper, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But But no, I won't play this race, and I haven't looked at too much else. But Gulfstream could be a big piece of my puzzle if it stays on the turf, which I imagine it will.
Let Southwest Stakes.
So,
Yeah,
Thank you.
Hadn't
Did
looked.
ask, what about the Southwest?
I haven't
Stakes?
played an Oaklawn Park race all year. I know Chase would probably be upset with me for saying that, but
I haven't played much Oaklawn either. Our Oaklawn handicapper Caleb, how's Oaklawn been treating you?
Poorly, which is why I switched to Fairgrounds.
I'll play Oakland when they get turf.
What did you see?
yeah, that's kind of my.
So never.
Did you see
Never
anything in the
thought-
Southwest that you liked, Caleb?
I mean, the Baffert horse looks to have that field over a barrel, honestly. He doesn't usually
Was it
send in for the
Newgrange, right?
Southwest. Yeah, Newgrange.
Oh right.
He doesn't normally ship in for the Southwest. He usually waits for Rebel or Arkansas. So the fact this horse is here against a bunch of horses that this kind of is their Kentucky Derby for the most part, he seems to have this field kind of over a barrel, like I said.
Well, this might be his year.
You know, but who knows? I mean, who knows what could happen? There's a couple price horses I thought looked interesting. I'm going to be interested in number 4 horse, Kavad, whatever the name is. That's a horse I thought had a better than it looks run last time out, and all of some money going through him.
What about you? Did you look at the Southwest at all?
Yeah, I started capping it today. I
Yeah.
can't beat the bat. I don't think there's anybody who beats that.
What's the morning line on
On the back
Osborne?
on Osborne.
8-1.
8-1. Kind of interesting, but probably Baffert's race, definitely.
I have one more question for Mr. Banyos.
So
What are you worried at all if Aqueduct cancels or Low cancels? Are you looking at if it gets? I'm just saying
Tomorrow
they
or
narrow Saturday. If they narrow
It's happening.
if they narrow the field, like I think that's a
36
ridiculous
inches.
dynamic. They get 2 inches.
I would love that because I don't plan on really looking at Laurel at all, and apparently it's somewhat of a bias developed today, right?
Yeah, no
So-
shit.
No shit.
No shit.
Dude, the bias was I fucking hate Laurel.
Yeah, I don't think I'll. I mean, I guess you have to look if there's a bias, but would you? Oh, Aqueduct. I probably won't do too much there either. Actually,
The Golden
We'll
Wheel did
see.
break down today.
With the sweatshirt.
It did.
well, yeah,
but that's only for the fall, right? It's only
Yeah,
for the fall.
that's
and the
turf.
spring. It's not the
once
winter.
the turf stops.
Yeah.
Which again, I don't understand why Gulfstream did what they did. It's like you have the premier turf product on the East Coast from December to March.
You could
And-
literally
Wait, you
remove
mean
the
Tampa?
East Coast part, like the premier turf product, and
Well, I was thinking like Santa Anita too, but yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Tampa, but
and then
whatever.
you just take what differentiates you and why people would gravitate towards it, even from like an ownership standpoint.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna bring a string of horses down there, like Chad's running them on the synth. It's like what? What's
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
The take I heard was that that they were trying to steal some of the Canadian horses, the Woodbine horses, over the winter who don't have a place to run, and they wanted to steal some of that market. But it seems like that's too thin,
I
right?
can
Like,
see that, but I don't know. It doesn't. It's like
I mean, Cassie's did really well shipping down, but
he
Still,
has-
it's been real thin. yeah. No, I mean, a Cassie or some of the other, I don't know the Woodbine trainers, but they've done well.
Gail
But
Cox, she sent a few.
yeah, Gail has. Yep.
But yeah, I don't play Woodbine either. I think Golden Gate is the best all-weather product out there. And
Tampa's
I'll be
off.
looking at Golden Gate.
Yeah,
Tampa's off.
I would say this is something we should probably mention is if you are something NHC or looking at that turnip structure or some of even the horse tourneys, that kind of thing. Tampa is off tomorrow. They've already announced it, so they apparently sprinkled there or something. So yeah,
They saw lightning rock bolt
I'm
up.
sure Gulfstream and Fairgrounds will both be off as well.
Yeah.
because
Dirt
I'm-
City again.
And
But
the
yeah.
turf and the guy who kills it on turf.
I know it's my
Yeah, today was rough, dude. Today was
Dude,
rough.
same,
All
man.
dirt racing.
I would much prefer
Yeah.
turf. But
Yeah.
Fairgrounds, somebody spit on the course and they pulled it off.
So
Dude, I heard-
that mandatory at Fairgrounds tomorrow, race 2, was a race that I liked as an optional.
Yeah.
And there's a horse in there going dirt to turf with a pretty decent turf pedigree. And I thought I was going to get a pretty good price on it, and now everyone's
Everyone's gonna be on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually heard that Caleb was out there with the hose trying to water down because he was like, "Fuck." He's like, "These fuckers are in Vegas, and I'm here at home now. Fuck this, dude. I'm gonna ruin their weekend."
Yeah, you were supposed to roll through, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Caleb's out there drilling oil in West Texas.
Yeah. No, West Texas is like, hey, COVID's out of control. If you want to stay home. Oh, I don't know. Anything else, Caleb? Is there anything else you looked at for this weekend?
Not really. Apparently Santa Anita has some stakes
Yeah,
races, but I glanced at them and it's all like 5-horse fields, and Bedford has.
He's talking, but Josh.
Can you guys hear me?
Nice. Love those.
Well, there's that one the San
Weekend,
Clemente,
yeah.
the San Clemente or whatever
Yeah.
7 furlong race. There's 5 horses. Three are not only owned by or trained by Baffert, but are owned by Madacat, right? Starlight.
Yeah, it's like a big conglomerate.
Yeah,
of
it's
partnership.
fucking bullshit. But
Forbidden Kingdom drew the rail, is in that race. That's my Derby future bet. I don't know what kind of price we're gonna get, but we got 3 Baffords in there, and he's not one of them. Might be all right.
I mean, I don't understand. Like, is it a Derby points race?
It's a prep for the Santa Anita Derby, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't get points
No,
for
but
this
you get into the
because
Santa Anita Derby.
the
It's a-
4th
it's a
and 5th
7
place
furlong.
finishing horses
Yeah,
can
exactly.
get Derby
Yeah,
points.
here you go.
It's a 7 furlong.
Take
prep
his
for the
efforts
Santa
out.
Anita Derby.
Stop.
yeah, no, I just think our audio is I think it's just we got so many devices in here that's just like messing
Well, the
stuff up.
Wi-Fi is pretty weird.
Yeah, it is.
Caesar's properties and things.
Yeah, but I think we'll wrap up.
Sportsbook app. Quality. Nothing but the best.
I think we'll wrap up with that. As usual, we'll be in Discord if you guys want to hit us up. I know even though we were in this tournament, I mean, I think I sent the most messages on Discord I think I've had in like 2 weeks. So we'll be active on there.
Just doing odd, you know?
Yeah.
I will say the one wild thing that is tomorrow, Saturday, which I'm not going to play, is Gulfstream is having its first. I think it's a synthetic grade 3.
Yes, it
It's
is.
something like
Yeah, I saw it.
a
Yeah.
mile and 70 yards.
Approximately.
Approximately. Synthetic
have no
race.
interest
Probably
in
a mile and a quarter.
No,
All their races are about.
Yeah.
Are about what's the run up? Or it's gonna run. It's gonna run at about. It's gonna run at about 12:30 p.m. give or take about 20 minutes.
We don't
2
know
years
what's
ago, Craig from Timeform US had that post 2 years ago about when they started running the 5 furlongs
Yeah.
or whatever it was,
Yeah.
and the 5.5, and the times kept on coming back the same,
Mhm.
and they were running the 5
Fuck.
furlongs with a 110-yard
Oh.
run up, and it was like we're actually running 5.3 furlongs. This is not 5. The
Yeah.
gate was was 2 bars over on the rail. It was
Yeah.
2 bars over.
It's
from
like
where it
the
is.
exact same thing.
That's so funny. But yeah, no, I think that's gonna do it for us, dude. Guys, thank you for hanging out. I know mostly you guys are here because we're gonna go to dinner.
I was here for the bourbon.
Yeah, and I just told everybody, I'm like, hey guys, I got 2 bottles of bourbon in the room if you guys want to come up. And so yeah, well,
those died. Yeah.
well, it's all right. I got that huge ass plushie I gotta get home, so I needed to clear some room in the old suitcase. But yeah, thanks guys for hanging out. I tried to keep up with chat and stuff, but like I said, this is the first time we've actually tried this setup. So yeah, for everyone here, check us out at ontherwronglead.com. Obviously, Capone's over at Horse Racing Nation. Caleb's got shit on Horse Racing Nation. Mark, I don't know. Mark is just around.
Mike.
Mike.
It's
Mike Capitan.
Mike. No. It's Mike.
Mike L. Capitan,
Yeah,
right
get it right.
here.
Yeah, get it right.
Right here. Oh,
Mike
there we go.
L. Capitan.
And fuck, let it ride.
Fuck, let it ride.